Welcome to our exhibition of learning. Please come in. If you're wondering what this course is about and what the exhibition is showing today, then here are a few of our students to talk about their experience studying with me this semester.
And the tears come streaming down your face.
So this one, especially because you got to blog and you got to use all these digital resources that you usually use to procrastinate, it was really cool. So being able to use Sibelius and GarageBand and do whatever you like with them and having such a broad idea, and it was really, really exciting because you could make all these things that you never really thought of doing, or you never think that you could use a blog as an educational tool, or being able to find really interesting videos on YouTube that could inspire people to create really cool content. So I thought this subject was really motivating, and it was just really exciting to create whatever you wanted for once. Yeah.
So it was a really, really good course. It gave me the right motivation to do something that I've always wanted to do, which is record my own music. I mean, I have the innate skill to not actually record. Compose, because I don't really know. In year 10 I had this spell where I was like, yeah, all this amazing stuff, and then after that I was like, I don't know where it's all gone. So I try and want to get back into writing my own stuff and recording it out, and I've always kind of want to have a little SoundCloud page or everything with just ideas I want to do, mainly around guitar and drums and sort of highly EQ'd, mixed, heavy sort of music, but I mean, that sort of stuff I'm really into, so that's always what I want to do, and I think this course has really given me the opportunity to experiment with that sort of stuff, and I've really enjoyed my time learning about it and figuring out ways of how to teach it and all that sort of stuff, so I've really, really enjoyed it.
I can't remember how many people. I have lots of hundreds of views now, which is exciting. Yeah, I think it was all because of the graphic notation iBook though. It's all new to me, so I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was good to reflect on the process of doing my second iBook as well. It makes everything a lot clearer and you can just follow.
Just because of the actual nature of the assessments, where at the end you actually had like a tangible, like either a resource or what I've just done, which is the YouTube video, you actually had something that you could actually be really proud of, like, because it's taken a long time firstly to create, and secondly that other people can look at the iBook or other people can watch my video and go, wow, that's actually really cool what you've created. And so yeah, I think I was definitely motivated to create something that was of high quality, because I wanted to be able to show it off at the end and be proud of like the work that I'd done. So yeah.
Have you ever fed a lover with just your hands? Close your eyes and trust it, just trust it. Have you ever thrown a fist full of glitter in the air? Have you ever looked fear?
As part of the Technology and Music Education course, all students had to create a web presence. If you look on the iMacs inside, you'll find that there are links to every single student's website. On these websites, they published the resources that they made during the course, their reflections on the course, and also made an attempt at engaging with social media to create what we call a PLN, a personal learning network, many of these involving experimentation with social media such as Twitter.
Have you ever hated yourself for
So yeah, I put that up on my website. We had to create blogs as part of the course. So I put that up on the website with the stems from the Ableton's program, so people could then go on and change around the backing tracks if they wanted to, or create their own.
I can't remember how many people. I have lots of hundreds of views now, which is exciting. Yeah, I think it was all because of the graphic notation iBook though.
Have you ever invited a stranger to come inside? It's only half past, a point of oblivion.
In the Technology in Music Education course, the first big task was to create an interactive iBook which could be used for teaching music.
Interactive iBook on rock music.
For my iBook, I did a book based on Antarctica.
I did my first iBook for stage 2 on graphic notation.
The iBook that I created was a interactive like jazz lesson.
A iBook that was designed to aimed at children in schools.
You can actually download all of these iBooks for free from the students' websites.
I really like the widgets in there. I put my own recordings in there and then sketch pads for those recordings so the students can draw something that represents the sound and then email it to their teacher. So I thought that was really good. And yeah, I think it's a great way to get students interested in that sort of thing.
And it used The Lord of the Rings as the theme and taught compositional processes. We learned how to use the iBook and put different widgets on there, which was very helpful for me because I'd never actually done much with computers other than Microsoft Word and iTunes.
And basically it took them through the jazz standard Summertime, and I had a recording of Ella Fitzgerald singing it for them to listen to originally, and some video clips of like African drumming and African American like slave songs.
I created all these resources that involved like listening to a theme that was like based on a different animal, like a penguin or a leopard seal, and they had to identify which animal it sounded like, which was cool to try and see if people could pick it out. Yeah, and I really enjoyed making the resource. It was a really good challenge, and I felt that I actually created something that I'll be able to use in future, which is awesome.
And I played through it on guitar, and I had a friend who lives really close to me who has an amazing studio, and I pretty much just recorded through all that, and then I used that song as the basis of learning throughout the iBook. So I taught the chords and everything. At the end I did some basic sort of lessons and techniques. Bass and guitar, and I did a drum one as well, and it turned out really well. I was very happy with it.
The final task in the Technology in Music Education course was for students to negotiate a task that they would like to do themselves, an open task if you like. The only connection specifically to the course was that it either had to connect to some element of the pedagogies that we'd been looking at, or it had to connect to an element of technology that we had learned during the course, and in each case extend the students' understanding of that theory or of that technology. Students negotiated the project with me and actually only just uploaded them to their websites last Friday, so they're fresh off the press and you can have a look at them today.
Oh, so exciting. So what I did was I found my favourite song by Pink, which is called Glitter in the Air, and I spent months and months learning the piano part because I don't play piano, but it's something that I've actually wanted to learn for a while anyway because I really like the song. And I was going to play the melody on trombone, but then I decided that the lyrics were actually really nice. So I got my friend Lauren, who's just about to study contemporary singing at AIM actually next year. So I got her to sing the lyrics, and I played the piano, and then I made a video clip. And then I also decided, seeing as it took me so long to learn the piano part, that I would do a tutorial as well. So I did the tutorial afterwards for people who wanted to learn how to play it. So what's happening here is that the bass line is walking down exactly the same way as...
I did it for composing for strings, and I just finished it. I've got a chapter on the ranges of the instruments and a bit about the instruments, and then I've got bow strokes, and that's where I connected the sound to the notation and the information, and then a chapter on string techniques, so I've got sounds for that as well now. And yeah, I think it makes it really clear when you've got everything in one place. And then a chapter on just what to avoid, like the common mistakes that people make when they compose for strings. So things like impossible double stops and things that we always have to deal with that don't work.
The last project I did was based around music therapy. I went to a lecture and learnt about the different ways music therapy is used. It's used in nursing homes, I learnt out, for the dementia patients, and it brings back a lot of their memories and things like that. So I thought I'd look at doing music therapy through improvisation. And so I wrote a number of backing tracks on the Ableton, on the program Ableton that we'd learn about this year. And we had a masterclass with one of the musicians from CK who came in and taught us about Ableton. So I thought that would be a good, while it's still fresh in the brain, to start working on that. So then I wrote some backing tracks on Ableton using only the black note pentatonic scale on the piano, because that way, musician or not, you can generally, everyone can then realise which notes they have to play to improvise to it.
And my second project involves a loop pedal and two guitars this time. I had an acoustic and an electric, and I just bought an interface with Pro Tools Express, and I had to go and mixing and doing all this sort of stuff, so I just went DI with the acoustic and the electric. It was really interesting because I had a friend who studies at AIM full-time, and he does like sound engineering. He's a really, really good Pro Tools, so he came over and helped me. And he just showed me how to EQ everything on Pro Tools, and because Pro Tools Access is fairly limited, he showed it on his one. And after the 3 hours of setting up we had to do to set up Pro Tools, which was interesting, we actually ended up, we recorded, it sounded really good. It's been uploaded now, so check it out on my Tumblr. But yeah, it turned out really well. Put some reverb on it, made it sound really kind of epic. And then I actually had an extra thing, a loop pedal. I had a TC Electronic little flashback delay pedal, which actually doubled the loop pedal. And I composed my own little song just based off this 8-bar pattern. And I did like a little guitar solo of it. And I basically just wanted to highlight how easy it is to make your own music and just expand on your ideas. I mean, you can do that with a keyboard, you can do that with anything. I just wanted to show how incredibly easy it was. And once you had the skill to play chords and everything, you just make up your own stuff and just loop it and just experiment. That's just the best way to make music, I think. And so yeah, it turned out really well. Very happy with it. Hopefully James doesn't like me too harshly.
So for my second project, I composed a piece on Sibelius and then recorded it with two performers and edited it in Logic and then filmed a music video sort of thing. And it was a big rush with all other uni stuff, but it was the most enjoyable assignment because you could really do whatever you wanted, and you could do anything, and you could pursue what you're really excited about in education or music. So that was a really fantastic opportunity because most of the time you're pretty restricted in assignments as to what you do your work about, which means you can't get as, excited about doing the work, which when you have a lot of work to do, you need to be excited about something or you're just gonna go crazy. So I really enjoyed that assignment. I used it as procrastination from other assignments, which was a bad idea. But, I got it done.
In addition to learning lots of skills, such as how to record multi-track, how to create complex scores, export them as graphics, how copyright works, how to create these interactive resources that we were making, edit multicam video shoots, create interactive plugins, as well as those skills that we learned in weeks 2 to 5 of the course. We also looked in detail at what we might consider the big issues in 21st century education. We looked at the use of technology in one-to-one learning, whether that be the trendy nowadays bring your own device or traditional one-to-one laptop, or maybe now tablet programs. Some of the ideas of theorists such as Stephen Heppel that maybe bring a browser is more of a relevant idea. We looked at the ideas of blended learning and flipped learning, which obviously have very embedded use of technology, and the latest fashion of MOOCs in tertiary education. We looked at the disparity between the way that our students learn inside school and the way that they learn outside school, where they can access all of the information practically that they could need with a few taps on a smartphone in their pocket, or on a browser on a computer or a tablet at home. And in the classroom, that we still perhaps think of the teacher as the holder of knowledge, when actually anybody who still has that smartphone with them in the classroom probably has access to more knowledge than the teacher has a zillion times over. Of course, if they're allowed to take the smartphone out of their pocket in the classroom. We looked at the tension in the disparity, the way students learn inside the classroom and outside the classroom, and thought what this might mean for the music classroom of the future. And finally, we looked at some of the theory on things like instructional design, so how to actually use technology well in our teaching. We looked at changing cultures, the DJ culture, remix culture, and the kinds of music that students are making at home in their bedroom that maybe don't get seen in the contemporary music classroom, and students who actually are extremely highly skilled, and yet we don't really know about their skills because perhaps they work in a genre that it just isn't accepted as a genre of music, such as performing from turntables, or that just a very new area of music that is technologically extremely advanced. And on that front, we ended our semester with a masterclass by George Nicholas from the electronic group CK, and a session with a chap called Adam Maggs from Ableton himself, who actually gave us all a couple of hours of hands-on training. So we've tried to not just learn how to use technology and how to create with technology, but actually to try and consider some of the research that's out there at the moment and the things that are going on in the sharp end of new, innovative education, where technology is not the leading thing, but integrated beautifully into the process of learning, and how learning needs to react and respond to the technologies that are now available to the majority of our students out there.
I got really excited at the idea of people using like Ableton Live to create music straight away, or being able to compose. Because for me, and I want to be able to have more people doing music. Like, I think what's so bad about more people being able to create music, it may not be super technical, and they may not know the theory behind it, but they can get really excited about it, and they'll just be as excited about music as you are, which I think more people involved in music is a good thing.
Yeah, well, I think that because I wasn't confident with technology at all really before the course, and the first thing I'll say is that I really liked how we actually used all of it. We weren't just getting talked at, so I think that's why I'm a lot more confident with it now. Yeah, I think it's all going that way, and we just sort of have to appreciate it and use it as much as we can. I need to get a lot more comfortable with it as well in the classroom, because I find that a lot of the time the technology can waste time when you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, and I really liked how the course was just suited for us as future teachers. So yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, just thoroughly enjoyed it overall. Yeah.
Actually, like watching the DJing and like learning about Ableton Live and everything, that was like so cool. I think I'm gonna give up the trombone and become a DJ. But yeah, like I actually really want to do a course in that, so that I'm able to like talk to students in a classroom situation about doing that, because I know that music is more and more going into that direction. So it's something that is becoming more and more relevant in today's society. So it's like, I think personally, it would be very short-sighted of me to think that I can go into a classroom and just teach like classical and jazz music. Like that's just not going to happen.
It was good to spend 2 hours on YouTube watching fail compilations while James did the lectures, so that was... I'm just joking, I didn't do that.